There's a dude right there. Let's go. Let's go.
In 2017, 3 fishermen in Greenland narrowly survived a terrifying close call. While they were out near the Karen Fjord,
Hey,
an enormous chunk of the mountainside suddenly collapsed and crashed into the water. Within moments, a massive wave formed and began surging straight toward their boat. The impact sent water thundering across the shoreline with incredible force. Thankfully, the fishermen managed to pull away just in time, escaping what could have been a deadly situation. A group of friends was enjoying time by a river when an unexpectedly frightening moment unfolded. A large snake suddenly launched itself toward one of them, but the man reacted quickly enough to dodge the strike. The clip went viral almost instantly. Some viewers questioned whether the video was real, suggesting the snake might have been digitally added, but it's difficult to be sure nowadays. Even so, the movement of the snake and the group's startled reaction look convincing. These fishermen recently hauled up a surprising catch, a lancetfish, a species that's almost never seen near the surface. This elusive predator usually inhabits the deep waters of the Atlantic and Pacific, often at depths approaching 1,500 meters. With its slender shape and razor-like teeth, it preys on small fish and squid, rarely coming anywhere close to where people might encounter it. Michelle Haywood headed out for her regular morning swim near Cape Town, expecting nothing more than a peaceful start to her day. But the water immediately felt wrong. Its color was unusually dark. The temperature was warmer than normal. Thick foam floated on the surface, and even the taste seemed off. After she later shared a clip online, viewers pointed out the alarming reality. She had been swimming in untreated sewage. The foam she was splashing through wasn't foam at all. It was water contaminated with E. coli.
For me, there's a beautiful, beautiful tone of that E. coli on your face.
Oh, it's playing in the foam.
It's not foam, it's E. coli, baby. It's a nice colour. What do you call that?
It's like more salty than usual.
I think we call it the inner self. The inner self, E. coli. There we go. There we go. It's beautiful. That's it. Talk about bonding with people on the Sunday. That's beautiful.
I'm seriously shivering now from the cold water, but look how bad this looks.
Thankfully, she didn't experience any major health problems, but the ordeal left her badly shaken. What should have been a relaxing routine swim turned into a disturbing lesson she won't soon forget. In 2012, 17-year-old Matthew Hales went to Clevedon Pier early in the morning to capture long-exposure time-lapse photos of the rising tide for his A-level project. Each frame covered about 30 seconds. But later, when he reviewed the sequence, something unexpected stood out. In one image, a lone figure appeared on the pier, positioned directly toward the camera. The unsettling part was that the pier was closed at that hour and wouldn't reopen for several more. Even more bizarre, the figure wasn't present in the frame before it or the one after. Whoever or whatever was there remained in place for at least half a minute before vanishing completely. Fishermen in the area have reported strange sightings for years, and the coastline has even earned a chilling nickname, the Ghost Coast. Many now question whether the figure in Matthew's photograph matches the mysterious presence others claim to have encountered. While drifting through open water, a diver managed to film something remarkable. A massive whale rising from the deep and locking its gaze on him. Whales aren't usually aggressive, but their sheer size alone makes any close encounter feel intimidating. And with this one seemingly studying him so closely, the moment became even more unsettling. A couple spent the day fishing by a secluded forest stream and took a quick photo to capture the moment. But what appeared in the background was anything but serene. A person dressed in dark clothing with what looked like a white mask was standing among the trees, watching them. They hadn't noticed anyone nearby while they were there. They left without incident, but the image shook them afterward. Who would be out in the woods like that? And what were they doing? Jay Fishing and his friends were spending a quiet day at an urban creek when everything changed without warning.
Oh my gosh.
For sure on the path.
Holy cow. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's a dude right there. Let's go. Let's go. He ran, jumped down, ran across and got up on the other side. Yeah. Let's just walk a little.
Police sirens began echoing through the area, and moments later, a man sprinted straight through the creek, climbed the opposite bank, and disappeared into the trees. Officers arrived almost immediately, searching for the fleeing suspect.
Are you looking for some guys? Yeah, we are.
He just ran this way.
We saw him on that water.
He went down there, ran across the water, and went back up, and he's probably somewhere up in this area.
So he went that way.
Yeah, he went that way.
Down here.
I have video proof of it.
All right, that's fine.
Jay had captured the moment on camera and showed the clip to police, helping them determine which way the man ran. What started as a peaceful fishing trip suddenly turned into part of an active police chase, leaving the group wondering who the man was and how dangerous he might have been. While out on the water, a man discovered several partially submerged homes and an old cemetery. The location was part of Falcon Reservoir in Texas, a lake formed in 1952 when entire communities, including neighborhoods and graveyards, were intentionally flooded. By June 13, 2024, the reservoir sat at just 99.7% capacity, causing lower water levels that revealed more of these long-hidden structures. On February 9, 2025, two people lounging on a beach in Peru filmed something out of the ordinary.
Están caminando sobre el agua. ¿Qué fue?
¿Qué es eso?
¿O qué es eso? ¿Un pingüino o un delfín?
As the sun dipped toward the horizon, they spotted a dark figure gliding across the ocean's surface, almost resembling someone walking on top of the water. Some viewers later argued it was simply a trick of the light or a reflection created by the sunset, while others believed it hinted at something much stranger. To me, the movement looked far too fast for any person swimming. So what exactly did they capture along the Peruvian coastline that evening? A group of fishermen released a photo of a bizarre creature they had pulled from the water. Its body was covered in scales like a normal fish, but the head looked strangely like that of a pig, complete with a snout, ears, and eyes. The unusual catch sparked confusion and debate. Some suggested it was the result of a rare deformity or a possible hybrid, while others wondered if it might belong to an unknown species. Local folklore even speaks of water creatures with mixed features, prompting people to question whether this sighting connected to those old stories, or if it was simply a natural oddity. During a major flood in Vietnam's Gia Lai province, a local farmer pulled off an extraordinary rescue.
Good. Ai vô đi em.
Anh vô đi. Quay đầu ở đâu đấy?
The 35-year-old had been working in a rural area when he heard cries for help coming from a nearby river. Two people were stranded, and emergency teams couldn't reach them because the current was too strong. Acting quickly, he ran home, retrieved his agricultural drone valued at more than $150,000, and attached a rope to it. With precise control, he guided the drone over the rushing water and pulled each person to safety, one after the other. While fishing in Brunei, several locals spotted an unusual figure gliding across the water.
อ้าปากด้วยเอ๊ะน่าจะเป็นสัตว์ประหลาดเลยเฮ้ยโอ้โหตัวใหญ่ด้วยดูสิเนี่ยทางเรือเรานี่หว่าเอ๊ะมันผ่านมาทางเรือนั่นเนี่ยโอ้โหเฮ้ยมีเขี้ยวด้วยว่ะ
At first, it looked like it could be a crocodile or a large fish, but its shape and movement didn't line up with either one. Some believe it may be a local species altered by pollution, while others think it might be something entirely unidentified. At this point, no one can say with certainty what the creature actually was. While two men were out on a fishing trip, they came across something they never expected to see.
Dude, we're walking to a fishing spot and we just found these legs from a baby doll in the middle of the woods.
Plastic legs from a baby doll lying out in the middle of the woods. Finding objects like this in isolated places always raises questions. It could have been nothing more than litter, but it's strange that someone would carry an item like that deep into the forest with nothing else nearby. When unusual items turn up in places where no one lives, it naturally makes people wonder how they got there and what the story behind them might be. A kayaker on the Passaic River in New Jersey recently witnessed something unusual while out for a paddle. The water around his kayak had turned a deep, unsettling red, a sight he'd never encountered before.
That is really weird. I'm paddling currently through red water. Look at that. You can see in the splash. That water is red. That is wild. It is deep red water. I have never seen water in my life in a river that was red like this.
The Passaic is already notorious for pollution, but this looked almost like blood spreading through the river. What made the moment even stranger was what he discovered near a sewer outflow. The water rushing from the pipe was perfectly clear. There was a sharp, almost unnatural line where the clean water met the red-tinted river.
Some type of sewer straight in front of us. You can see that the water inside it is not red. It's red right on the edge here. You can see a defined line between the red and the water that's inside that sewer. So I'm really curious.
Some people think the discoloration might be caused by a red algae bloom, a natural event where rapidly growing algae can dye the water, a phenomenon some believe was responsible for the blood described in the biblical Nile. But if algae were the cause, why wasn't the water from the sewer pipe red as well? That part still doesn't add up. While out on the ocean, a man recorded a massive fish swimming near his boat, and as it drew closer, a strange orange light seemed to glow from within its body. Some viewers suggested it might be nothing more than a reflection or a camera artifact, while others pointed to the possibility of bioluminescent bacteria causing the effect. The clip is certainly unusual, but after examining it several times, it appears far more likely to be AI generated. The way the shapes shift and certain features vanish doesn't resemble natural motion at all. While paddling a canoe through Miami, the group experienced something they never saw coming. A giant leatherback turtle suddenly collided with their canoe. Leatherbacks are the largest sea turtles on the planet, growing more than 7 feet long and weighing close to 2,000 pounds. Fortunately, the canoe didn't flip, and everyone managed to get through the encounter unharmed. A fisherman stumbled upon a bizarre creature in the water. At first glance, it looked like a snake, long, slick, and twisting around, but when the camera zoomed closer, hundreds of small legs could be seen running along its sides. After some digging, it was most likely identified as a species of marine worm. Jazz, an angler known for recording his fishing trips, headed back to the Yarra River, the same spot where a tree once nearly crashed down on him. The fishing was slow, so he moved to a different location, and that's when things suddenly turned risky.
Nice. Where did he go? He's going, man.
There he is. He's underwater. There he is. Tiger. I could hear him coming down the hill. I just couldn't get away because I was sliding down the hill. He flared up. He's right in that middle bit of shade there. He was sitting right where my rods are, and I slipped on the grass and I almost fell on top of him because I couldn't stop.
As he stepped onto the grass, he slipped and almost landed right on top of a tiger snake. The snake had been resting exactly where his rods were set, and he didn't notice it until he was already sliding toward it. Tiger snakes are extremely venomous, capable of killing within an hour, and in a remote area like that, medical help wouldn't have arrived in time. The near miss left him rattled, realizing just how close he'd come to a deadly encounter. Dale Hancher was out on Okanagan Lake in British Columbia with his wife, Colleen, and her friend, Myrna, when something unusual in the water caught their eye. A dark figure was moving just beneath the surface, and it was close enough for them to steer the boat within about 10 feet to snap a picture. The shape seemed to have two distinct humps, unlike anything they were familiar with. Dale now wonders whether they might have encountered Ogopogo, the lake's well-known mystery creature. Online viewers have debated the photo. Some claim the outline looks like a wolf-shaped head, while others suggest it could simply be a bird, or even a moose, seen from an odd angle. Whatever the explanation, the sighting certainly adds fuel to the legend. A rescue vessel is hit by a towering wave as it battles through brutal Force 12 storm conditions. The next sea creature might cause even more agony, the tongue-eating louse, a nightmare-like parasite that devours its host's tongue and then replaces it, living inside the victim's mouth and consuming whatever the host eats. Found from California to Ecuador and in parts of the Atlantic, this sci-fi-like organism, with legs and eyes, repeats the process over and over, abandoning a dead host only to take over the tongue of a new one. Some people think this next clip might show a megalodon. By nature, megalodons are already wrapped in mystery. They're not supposed to exist anymore, which makes any potential sighting even more puzzling. In this footage, viewers can't decide whether the creature is a megalodon or some unknown deep-sea animal. The video was captured 5,000 feet below the surface by an oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico, an area where megalodon fossils have been discovered. Marine biologists have reviewed the clip, but none can confidently identify what the creature is. What everyone can agree on is that it's enormous, easily comparable in size to a megalodon. So the real question is, do you think this is a megalodon or a massive undiscovered species? Watch the footage and share your thoughts. And let me know if you believe megalodons could still be roaming the oceans today. Now let's take a look at a legendary sea creature said to lurk in Japanese waters. What is it about Japan and the eerie things reported in its oceans? This being is called an umibozu, meaning sea monk, named for its enormous, smooth, monk-like appearance. These entities are described as pitch black, with humanoid or serpent-like limbs. Over the years, countless fishermen have claimed to see them, and stories say they occasionally overturn boats. Some believe umibozu sightings are nothing more than encounters with giant squid, but many Japanese fishermen insist that what they witnessed was nothing like a squid, describing something far larger and far stronger. A few have even compared the creature to Cthulhu, the mythical sea giant known for sinking ships. But if you think umibozu are the most terrifying underwater humanoids, think again. Take a look at this strange piece of footage showing a circular object moving in the water. It was recorded by Thomas Wall, who can be heard expressing confusion as he watches a large, disc-shaped form that appears to be breathing. He admits he has no idea what he's looking at. The clip was filmed in Goderich, Ontario, Canada, near a local nuclear power facility, leading some to wonder whether this could be a mutated fish or some other aquatic creature. The way the disc seems to expand and contract suggests it might be alive. Thomas tosses something into the water to test for a reaction, but the circular mass doesn't move at all. Whether it couldn't move or simply wasn't startled remains unclear. What do you think that creature could have been? Now let's move on to a frightening ocean animal we actually know quite a bit about, the lancetfish. Also called the handsaw fish, this species is incredibly rare and normally lives far out in the deep ocean. But in 2014, one washed ashore in North Carolina. Lancetfish are enormous, and their long, needle-like fangs match their size. What makes them even more disturbing is their hunting behavior. They prey on their own kind. They're known to attack and eat other lancetfish, including siblings, offspring, and even their own parents. This cannibalistic predator is also considered dangerous to humans. If you ever spot something like this in the ocean, get out immediately. Back in 2016, an Australian fisherman noticed a strange floating shape near his boat. At first, he thought it might be some kind of alien creature, but soon realized it was something far more dangerous. What he was actually seeing was a bloated whale carcass. When a whale dies, gases build up inside its body, causing it to swell dramatically. Eventually, the pressure becomes so intense that the carcass can explode, sending massive amounts of debris and internal material everywhere. These explosions can be powerful enough to injure or even kill anyone nearby. Once fisherman Mark Watkins understood the risk, he quickly moved his boat away from the area. The whale looked like it could burst at any moment. What was supposed to be a light-hearted scuba diving video quickly turns into something far more shocking when the diver captures a terrifying moment right in front of him. Even with a shark swimming just a few meters away, he keeps filming, staying remarkably steady as the animal glides past. Shark attacks on divers are uncommon, since sharks generally avoid direct conflict, but encounters like this still demand caution and calm behavior. With no safe way to retreat, the diver stays completely still, hoping the shark will continue paying him no attention as it moves through the water. Fortunately for him, the predator chooses to swim past without showing any aggression. Fishermen in Singapore recently encountered a disturbing-looking stargazer fish during an intertidal survey. This species buries itself beneath the sand, lying in wait to strike at anything that comes close, using its upward-facing eyes and venomous spines. Its appearance alone is unsettling, but some stargazers even develop a worm-like lure that hangs from their mouths to attract prey. Thankfully, sightings outside Southeast Asia are relatively uncommon. This fisherman was simply enjoying his day out on the water, fishing in the open ocean off the Florida Keys. Not long after dropping his bait, a fish struck immediately, prompting him to reel it in as quickly as he could. What he assumed would be an easy, routine catch unexpectedly turned into a startling encounter with a very eager shark. When a shark grabs your catch while you're fishing, the safest approach is to stay calm. Release the fish if possible, and avoid any sudden or aggressive movements that could escalate the situation. In this case, the fisherman was fortunate. The shark was only interested in the hooked fish, not him. A boat equipped with fish-shaped tags on its rear can be seen being chased by an incredibly fast Mako shark out in open water. Drawn to the moving attachments, the shark repeatedly lunges at them, mistaking them for an easy meal. These types of lures are sometimes placed on boats to mimic prey and attract game fish by imitating natural swimming motion. Even after missing several times, the shark keeps striking at the decoy, convinced they're real fish. After a few minutes of failed attempts, the predator finally realizes the bait is fake and swims off. A swimmer begins filming a shark moving beside him when, without warning, the predator changes direction and heads straight toward him. Realizing there's no chance of outswimming it, he chooses to remain still and continue recording as the animal closes the distance. Shark speeds vary by species, and some, such as Makos, can reach more than 40 miles per hour. Unfortunately, the footage cuts off abruptly, leaving what happened afterward completely unknown. A group of friends out on a small boat in Iceland suddenly realize a shark is trailing behind them, putting them in a potentially dangerous situation. Instead of rowing away, they choose to stay where they are, so they can film the predator as it moves closer.
All jokes. Han efter okkur. Han bara rétt under okkur.
Keeping distance from sharks while in a small vessel is always the safer option, as it helps avoid accidental interactions and reduces the chance of provoking the animal. Despite the risks, the friends continue recording while the shark approaches, completely ignoring the safer decision to leave the area. Thankfully, after a short time, the shark loses interest and swims off, leaving them unharmed. Spearfishing in waters known for shark activity is inherently risky, requiring constant awareness and caution. In this clip, two spearfishers enter the ocean, only for their dive to end abruptly when something unexpected appears below them. Realizing the serious danger, both men immediately race toward the surface and head back to their boat. Mako sharks can show aggressive behavior if provoked, though they generally avoid direct conflict with humans unless threatened or drawn in by fishing activity. Fortunately, the divers' sharp awareness and quick reaction allowed them to escape without being bitten. A woman is seen scuba diving alongside a group, recording the experience to look back on later. What was meant to be a memorable and enjoyable dive quickly takes a frightening turn when one of the divers notices something alarming in the distance. The entire group immediately begins swimming away as a shark starts trailing behind them. Seemingly curious about what they are. During shark encounters while diving, the safest approach is to stay calm, maintain steady buoyancy, avoid sudden movements, and keep a respectful distance. Fortunately, everyone in the group managed to get out of the situation unharmed. That's it for tonight. Which moment creeped you out the most? Drop it in the comments, Have your own story? Share it with us and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.